Good morning. It is Tuesday the 23rd, 7:06 in the morning. Already had my first stop for water. It was at a cache just other side of that hill. There's Beach right there walking. I'm in the front right now, in the lead. Don't know how long that'll last. We're kind of doing our own thing a little bit today. May meet up for lunch, may not. If it works out, I'd be open to it, but we've got a long day. There's the view right in front of me walking. Not so bad. Had a beautiful sunrise this morning. But this is the longest stretch, at least thus far, and we're almost out of the desert, so probably the longest stretch at all without a natural water source. So there are a couple of cow ponds shortly off the trail, but you know, unless you really want to test it, how well your filter is taking care of that giardia, probably not something that you want to test. So there are a couple of trail angels that supply water caches where there's road access, and just filled up. I got 4 liters of water to get me the next 15 miles, which is a little bit more, substantially more than I would need on the AT. On the AT, if we were in a green tunnel, I could probably do it on 2. But what I found out here in the desert is that my brain calculations for how much water I need needs to be just about doubled, and sometimes more. Just because of the amount of exposure, the heat, how much you're sweating out here. Definitely run through the water a lot faster in the desert than you do in the green tunnel of the AT. So yesterday morning was tricky, man. Tough, really. A lot of climbs, open and exposed. Got it done early, but man, it seemed to get hot around 8 o'clock yesterday morning. So hoping for a little more cool hours today, but 7 o'clock and I'm not sweating too much yet, but I'm not cold. So I'm guessing with that sun only being up for about an hour, that about another hour from now, it's going to be warm enough that warm enough for me. So we got about the same distance today as yesterday. We did just under 26. I think we're doing just over 26, but within about a mile. But stringing together a couple of big days, which will leave us with about 13 miles, I believe, getting into Ridgecrest. We were talking this morning. I was talking with Runner and Beach and a guy named Starburst. It's just a little up ahead that's not really part of our group, but we've been running into him a bit. Just kind of about milestones. Ridgecrest is about 650. So tomorrow afternoon, we will officially have less than 2,000 miles left to go. And we're rapidly approaching the 25% mark, and it's kind of weird. Just kind of the way the time and the mileage goes by. You know, it seems like each individual day is kind of long, but then the weeks just fly by, if that makes any sense at all. And yeah, the 25% thing my brain kind of got broken thinking about it. Part of me feels like, of course we should be at 25%. We've been out here doing this for a while. But then another part of me is like, I don't know if I'm ready to be 25% done. I feel like I'm just hitting my stride, getting, so I don't know. But either way, we should be, if all holds according to plan, getting into Kennedy Meadows either Friday night or Saturday morning. So that's exciting. We have decided we are not staying overnight in Ridgecrest. There is public transportation that only runs Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So lucky for us, we are busting our asses so we can get in there on Wednesday and have public transit both in and out. It's $3 per ride, and the rides are about 3.5, 4 hours apart. So we should be able to catch the bus at 1 o'clock, get into Ridgecrest, get our resupply, get to the post office, catch the bus, and get back out, get back on trail about 5 or 6 o'clock. Hike, I don't know, a mile or two, whatever we need to find a place to camp, and then sleep there. So that's kind of the game plan, and it's only 50 miles from Ridgecrest to Kennedy Meadows, which means we can either knock that out in 2 big days or 2 regular days and a morning. So that puts us there Friday night or Saturday morning. We will probably take minimum 1 0 and most likely I would say 2 zeros at Kennedy Meadows. It's free to camp there. Got to pay for like showers and stuff like that. But it's a place where you kind of group up and plan. As of now, our plan is still to go into the Sierras, at least try the first resupply stretch and see how it goes from there and reassess if necessary. But with that, there's a lot of planning that we need to do. We need to make sure that we've got enough food so if we do run into something, we can turn around and back out. So we need to know where all the Forest Service roads are, all the crossings are, every possible way to get out and get to town where all of our bailouts are in case we need them. Making sure that we've got enough food and supplies to get us not only to where we're planning on getting, but also, to bail out if necessary. So luckily, the only way to bail out isn't going all the way back to Kennedy Meadows, so we shouldn't need double the amount of food, but I might need an extra day's worth of food, something like that, or a couple days in case the bailout point isn't right directly behind us. It would suck to backtrack that much, but I would take an extra day or two of strenuous hiking and keep my life versus, the inverse of that. I like living, I like breathing. That's the number one goal, is stay safe, stay alive. Goal number 2 is Canada. So we'll see. And there's more than one way to skin a cat. We can always back out and flip if we want, but I'm really kind of floundering around now. I think that's all I've got to say. But yeah, should be a hot, sweaty one. Kind of looking forward to a little bit of a challenge, but also I feel like hot and sweaty's been the challenge for 75-80% of the trip since we started. Everything except for a couple of days where we got to play in the snow, and those snow days are ahead in our future, but just as of right now, kind of ready to be done with the hot and sweaty. So we'll see. I don't get to choose, so we'll take it as it comes and try to take it with a smile on our face. But overall, still just happy to be out here, man. Happy to be out here doing the deal. Happy to have, here's a last quick look around, but happy to have found the crew that we have. So, all right, until next time. Hey, it is Thursday, May 25th, 5:07 p.m. It has been a couple of days since I've done an update, so sorry about that. I do have the intention of doing those every day, or at least I have. But the last couple of days have been just a bit of a blur. First and foremost, I want to wish just a happy birthday to my brother. He does a lot of backup stuff behind the scenes, kind of keeping track of where I'm at, keeping other people in the loop, in my family and stuff like that, sending me stuff as I need it to make this hike possible. So just a lot of gratitude towards him on his birthday. I got a picture earlier when I got service. Tried to give him a call, left him a voicemail, but I got a picture of his annual orange crunch cake. So Melissa slaved over that, and I'm missing that today. But that's kind of the thing about a thru hike, is that you're gonna miss things. But on the other hand, you can't live your life based on a fear of missing out. So I guess that's what's on my mind. That's what's coming out of my mouth right now. But past couple of days, so yesterday I woke up late. I was supposed to wake up early so that we could get to a pass that had a bus stop, and I woke up, and when I say late, I mean I wasn't like super late. I was still hiking by 6 a.m., but I was gonna try to get started like half hour, 45 minutes earlier than that, just to give myself some cushion. So a little bit of hectic getting out the gate, but then did a little bit of rough numbers in my head and realized that I was absolutely going to make it there in time. So slowed down a bit. There was a water source. I was a little faster getting water than some other folks, and ended up hiking with them for I don't know, probably 6 or 8 miles, something like that. Had some nice conversation, some cool folks. A couple named, there's a blow down here. A second hand would be useful, but we are okay. A couple named Bubbles and Karma. We actually ended up going into town with them, but talked with them for quite a while. Got down close to the trailhead, and there was trail magic like a mile away. So got Coca-Cola, some cookies, a pancake, and a foot-long hot dog right before going into town. Hung out there for, I don't know, probably an hour, and then went up over by the road just to make sure that we were there in plenty of time to catch the bus. We were probably there for 45 minutes. The bus was a little bit late. Went on into town. I went to the post office. Got a different pack set up right now than I had previously. I sent the Curve 35 home, and am using the Exos now, the tried and true. Here is another blowdown. So here we go. We'll see if I can navigate this with one hand. So anyways, yesterday I go to the post office. This isn't bad. Go to the post office, swap this out, go over to Walmart, buy my resupply, which was pretty simple, just a couple of days to Kennedy. And then got some Panda Express, got a Subway sandwich to go for my dinner, and then we all hung out in front of the Walmart, like in the entry area where they keep the carts. Hung out there and plugged our phones in for, I don't know, an hour and a half while we waited for this bus. So kind of fun. Got back on trail, and we didn't want to go too far, but because it was late and the sun was starting to go down, but there were limited camping options. There was one campsite that the first couple of people stayed at, and that couple as well as Roadrunner, and then 4 of us continued. And long story short, me and Beach ended up way out in front. Didn't see anybody else camped. Only camping spots we saw looked like they were pretty well fully at capacity, so we ended up going like an extra 7 miles late at night to the next source. And Beach dropped his pack off the cliff accidentally. We stopped when we got to the top of a climb, and his pack was sitting on one side of the path, the uphill side, but it flipped over and then rolled, and so then he had to climb down like 200 freaking feet to get his pack, but he got it. Everything's all right. There was a damaged C-knock, but he's using mine right now. The water carry's not so bad, so I've just got 3.2 liters for dry camp and about 12 miles, and I've got bottle capacity for that now. I had to change up my water system just a little bit, get a 700 milliliter to keep right here, just because the way the side pockets are on this, it's not as easy to get that 1.5 liter water bottle out because it covers the entire thing up. So I need to have, or thought I needed to have, and that's what I'm going with. It's more clean water capacity. So the 1 liter and the 700 are my clean, the other's my dirty, and then instead of just filtering directly into my mouth like I have been while walking, I'll actually have to filter over, since that's harder to get now. But equipment changes happen, and that's all good. I'm really glad that I had this Hexos in reserve. I've already got probably, I don't know, 300, maybe 400 miles on this pack, mostly on the AT. So I'm pretty comfortable with it. So as far as today goes, obviously we hiked that extra 7 miles and it was already dark even before we started those extra miles. We ended up doing 25 miles on a resupply day, which is just absolutely insane. But we didn't get to camp until like 12:05 a.m. So we ended up sleeping in, and then between last night and today, I've been pretty much hanging out, hiking with Beach all the time. And I don't like to pull the camera out in front of other people. This is kind of my own video journal, video diary, whatever you want to call it. So I don't know, bringing other people into that. I'm not ruling it out entirely in the future, but that's not really what this is about for me. So that's it. So today we're just doing about 12 miles. We've been taking it super chill. Woke up late and hung out at camp for a little bit, packed everything up, hiked about 5 miles to the next water source, waited for everybody else, packed up, hiked up our main incline, and have just been taking it easy, going nice and slow, kind of taking a rest day on trail. So letting everybody else in the group catch up. It didn't do stupid miles yesterday, and I get a little bit of a rest day, and everybody ends up averaging it out, doing the same thing, because we all started and end in the same place. But I guess you get there different ways sometimes. So that's about it. We will have just a day and a half from camp tonight into Kennedy Meadows. So one full day tomorrow, half day Saturday morning, and then we'll be there. Probably take a couple zeros, or at least a full zero. Make sure we have a good plan, and then go into the Sierras. That is the plan. So in the Sierras, no idea what these updates are going to look like. Ideally, I like doing them once a day for my own sake, but I'm not sure how possible that's going to be in the Sierras with everything going on. When I do this, I need to have one hand free to hold my phone, and that's not possible, obviously, when you're in the snow and I need an ice axe in one hand and a pole in the other. So it may be every other day, maybe every third day. It might not be a usual occurrence at all. Maybe 3 days on, 3 days off. But I'll keep up with them the best that I can. But that's not the priority. The priority is getting through safely and soundly. So we'll keep the updates coming as we can. All right, one last look. in a nice little shady nook and got a little breeze. So not so shabby. All right, until next time. Good morning. It is Friday, May 26th at 7:27. Trying to get back on a relatively normal schedule of when I do these things. Normal is definitely relative. Sometimes it's going to be early, sometimes it's going to be late. But today I think this is probably the best time because I am on my descent right now. There's going to be water at the bottom of this mountain, and then we go up another mountain, down that same mountain, and then it finally flattens out a touch right before camp this evening. So a lot of up and down today. Not a lot total, actually, just a lot of continuous, and I don't like trying to record while I'm walking uphill because then I'm gasping for breath. No fun, but we've got a couple thousand down to start the day, and then 2,000 or 3,000 up all at once, and then I think about 3,000 down, and then she flattens out a bit. So overall, I think 3,000 up today, 4,000 down feet. That's not terrible for a 20-mile day. It's just like there's no flat in between. It's just all up or down. So actually not a ton of an update since the last one. That was just yesterday evening. But just wanted to get back on schedule. I did sleep in a little bit today. Woke up at my normal time and everything was wet from condensation. I was like, I don't really want to deal with this right now. It's kind of chilly out, and we're only doing 20 miles today. I can start a little bit later and still make it in plenty of time, so that's what I've done. Got on the trail right at 7 o'clock. So only been hiking for about a half an hour, maybe done a mile and a half or so, and it's been pleasant. The clouds have just kind of cleared up. You're starting to see the sun peek out back there behind us. It's probably darkening everything up, staring at the sun on the camera. But it's not a bad morning. First morning that I've been legitimately chilly while walking, which is good. I've got layers I could put on if I need them, but I got all the faith in the world that sun's going to come up and I'm going to be too toasty soon. So we're just trying to enjoy it right now. But not a ton of scenery. That's the mountain I just came off of. And that direction there is probably where we're headed, but we're going down a little bit more first. But that is north. So that's the way we normally go. We did have a section there for a couple hundred miles where we were heading west though, so not sure how that goes. But I think that's pretty much it. 20 miles today of a lot of up and down. That'll leave us where we're planning on camping tonight is about 8 miles from Kennedy Meadows. So we'll wake up tomorrow morning and just scurry on in there and hang out for a couple of days and then start our miserable slog through the Sierras. I'm excited for it. Can you tell? No, it really is going to be miserable, but I'm hoping for that type 2 fun. It's a challenge that's been set forth in front of us, and as long as it's safe, I want to try it. So no matter how miserable I am, I say that now. We'll see if my tune changes a couple weeks from now when I haven't had dry feet in 2 weeks, because that's probably going to happen. So we'll see. I got a bag full of wet gear right now. Plan is hopefully to set it out and let it dry. It's not sopping wet, just condensation wet, but let it air out a bit would be nice at lunch. And yeah, we'll see what else today brings, but so far so good. And here, I'll show you the direction the wind's going and what I woke up to this morning. Weather-wise it's actually kind of pretty. The clouds hanging up just at the very top of the sky. Kind of pretty in a bleak sort of way, I suppose. But that's what's behind us, so I reckon it's probably going to clear up here soon. Which means by 10:30, 11 o'clock, when I'm going up that major climb, trying to get to where I'm going to eat lunch 11 or 12 miles in, I'm going to be sweating my ass off, I would imagine. We'll see. That's what normally happens, but I'm up for anything. It's a brand new day. We could try something else today. Shit, we're practically at Kennedy Meadows, and that's supposed to be a gateway to the Sierra, so maybe we're getting Sierra weather early. I don't know. I'm rambling now. I'm gonna shut up. But yeah, happy Friday. Kind of lose track of the days out here, but when I look at my watch and it says FR, that means it's the start of the weekend. So yippee. All right, enough.